Chosen one, listen carefully. Heaven is leaning in right now. This is not just another video, not just another random voice on your screen. This is a holy interruption. In this very moment, it is as if time slows and the noise around you fades, so your spirit can finally hear what heaven has been trying to whisper for a long time. You are not passing by this message, you have been guided to it. You are not scrolling by chance, you are being summoned. Deep down, you have always sensed it, you are not like everyone else. Others can ignore spiritual things, but you cannot. Others can drown their conscience, but yours refuses to stay silent. You have felt that strange tension inside this feeling that you were meant for more, that your life is supposed to carry weight, that there is a reason you see and feel things others seem blind to. People may have called you too much, too emotional, or too intense. But what they call too much, heaven calls set apart. You are wired differently because you were never created to blend in. Every time you tried to shrink yourself to fit in, something inside you died a little. Every time you walked away from what you knew was right, just to keep people, your soul felt the fracture. And yet, even in your lowest choices and darkest moments, there was still a pull, a tug, a quiet voice that would not let you go. That was not your imagination. That was the God of heaven refusing to release his grip on the one he has chosen. You have walked through storms that would have destroyed others. There are nights you remember, nights when your pillow was soaked with tears no one saw. When you smiled on the outside, but collapsed inside. You learned how to function while broken, how to show up while empty, how to help others while secretly bleeding. And you thought no one saw, but heaven saw. Heaven recorded every tear, every sigh, every silent God. Please help me, you barely had strength to think. Right now, the Spirit of God is confronting the lie that you are weak, powerless, or forgotten. Heaven does not see you as a victim of your story. Heaven sees you as a weapon being forged through your story. Your sensitivity is not a curse. It is a sign of your spiritual capacity. Your awareness of darkness is not proof that you are doomed. It is proof that your light is needed. You are not disqualified by what you went through. You are being positioned because of it. Listen to how heaven speaks over you, even now. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind." This is not just a verse on a page, it is a verdict over your life. Fear is not your identity. Confusion is not your future. Breakdown is not your destiny. You carry power. You carry love. You carry a sound, stable, renewed mind in Christ. The reason the warfare around your life has been so intense is because hell is afraid of what happens when you finally believe this. A fearful you is manageable to the enemy. A confused you is controllable. A distracted you is safe to the kingdom of darkness. But a you who wakes up, who realizes, I am chosen, I am called, I am armed by God, that version of you is dangerous. That version of you starts breaking chains in families, shifting atmospheres in workplaces, and opening doors for others to encounter God. So this is heaven's announcement over you. You are stepping out of fear and into power, out of shame and into identity, out of survival and into assignment. You are not called to live the rest of your life apologizing for existing, apologizing for being different, apologizing for carrying spiritual weight. You are called to stand up as the one God trusted with this generation's battles, this family's cycles, this territory's atmosphere. If something inside you is burning as you hear this, it is because your spirit recognizes the sound of home. This is your confirmation. You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. And you are not imagining your calling. Heaven is talking to you. And now you have a choice: ignore it and go back to pretending, or respond and step into alignment with your destiny. If you know this word is for you, mark this moment. Do not let it pass like any other. Like this message. Share it so another chosen one can wake up. Subscribe so you stay connected to what heaven is releasing over you. And as a prophetic act of agreement, comment the number 777 below to say, I receive this. I choose my calling. I choose to walk as God's chosen one from this day forward. You look back over your life and, if you are honest, you can see it. This sense of being out of place has followed you like a shadow, while other children seem to blend effortlessly. You always felt like you were standing slightly to the side of everything, watching, observing, feeling deeply. You laughed when they laughed, joined in when they played. But underneath, there was always that quiet awareness: I am not like them. You never had the words for it, so you tried to silence it. You tried to force yourself into their patterns, their conversations, their ways of thinking. Yet, even when you looked like you belonged, you knew you didn't. There were moments when you thought something was wrong with you. Why did certain jokes bother you that didn't bother others? Why did you feel heavy after being in certain environments while they walked away unaffected? Why did you notice the pain in people's eyes when everyone else was only interested in their own stories? It felt like a burden. This extra layer of sensitivity. This radar that picked up things no one else seemed to catch. You wondered, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just not care? But you could not switch it off. And so the enemy started early, trying to twist your difference into a curse. He used rejection as a weapon, wrapping lies around your heart to make you believe that being different meant being unlovable. Maybe there were friend groups that quietly edged you out, not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence exposed something they didn't want to face. Maybe there were family members who labeled you too dramatic, too spiritual, or too complicated, when in reality, your spirit was only reacting to an atmosphere they had learned to tolerate. You were not difficult. You were designed to discern. There were seasons you tried to harden yourself, to become who they expected you to be. You laughed at things that made your spirit uncomfortable. You went places your heart did not want to go. You swallowed your convictions to keep the peace. And every time you did, a part of you dimmed. You grew duller on the outside. But the fire inside refused to die, even at your most compromised. You could never fully enjoy what separated you from God. You felt the ache, the emptiness, the sense that you were betraying something sacred inside of you, that something was your calling. Your uniqueness was not an accident of personality, it was evidence of assignment. The way your heart breaks for certain people, the way you pick up on injustice or hypocrisy, the way you feel restless in shallow environments, these are not random traits. They are clues. They are markers that you were crafted for deeper waters, for higher places, for more demanding battles. You do not process like everyone else because you were never meant to live like everyone else. Heaven carved a different path for you. Heaven has been trying to tell you this all along. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 139, verse 14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. You are not an error to be fixed. You are a wonder to be revealed. You were built with intentional details, with holy precision, with a configuration of gifts, sensitivities, and perceptions that may not make sense to the crowd, but make perfect sense to your Creator. Think of the rooms where you have never quite fit. Think of the groups that could not hold you. Think of the cycles you tried to force yourself into, but could not sustain. As painful as those moments were, they were also protection. God did not let some connections stick because they would have suffocated your purpose. He did not let certain labels define you because they were too small for what He placed inside you. Every time you felt the friction of not belonging, heaven was whispering, you were made for somewhere else, for something more. Even your loneliness has had a purpose. In the quiet, when you felt misunderstood and unseen, something sacred was happening. You were being separated not because you are unworthy of love, but because you are being preserved for a different kind of love, a different kind of community, a different kind of assignment. Chosen ones are often misunderstood before they are celebrated. They are often isolated before they are positioned. What looks like rejection from people is often redirection by God. Your whole story testifies you always knew you were different. That knowing was never arrogance, it was recognition. Your spirit has been recognizing your identity before your mind could articulate it. Now heaven is catching your mind up to what your spirit has been trying to say. You are set apart. You are not too much. You are the right amount for the mission you carry. You are not out of place. You are in process. Being moved into the exact space where your design makes perfect sense. You are not crazy for feeling like this world is too shallow for you. You are not wrong for craving depth, truth, purity, and purpose. This is the evidence that you are who heaven says you are, a chosen one, marked, different by design, separated not for pride, but for purpose. There are chapters of your story no one knows, moments so heavy you didn't even have the words to explain them, nights where you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, betrayals, losses, and wondering silently, does any of this matter to you, God, or am I just hurting for nothing? You wiped your face before anyone could see, straightened your back, and walked out into the world like nothing was wrong, but heaven saw what you hid, those silent tears, the ones that slipped out when you were finally alone, felt useless to you. You thought they just fell and disappeared, but in the unseen realm, none of them were wasted. Every time your heart broke, something sacred was happening. You were being softened in the exact places the world tried to harden you. You were being stretched in the exact places the enemy tried to shut you down. What looked like breaking was actually shaping. Think about those times when you cried and then apologized for crying, even to yourself, as if your pain was an inconvenience, as if your emotions were an exaggeration, as if your heart was too much. You scrolled, you distracted yourself, you pretended you were fine, but the ache stayed, not because you are weak, but because your spirit was trying to tell you, this matters, you matter, what happened to you mattered. People came and went. Some promised they would stay, and didn't. Some said they understood and didn't. Some told you to get over it, not realizing how deep the wound really was. It made you cautious. It made you quiet. It made you feel like your pain was safer hidden than exposed. So you built an invisible wall around certain parts of yourself and told yourself, no one needs to see this. No one would care anyway. But there is one who has never been bored with your story, never tired of your repetition, never dismissive of your pain. Heaven has leaned over every moment of your anguish with full attention. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 56, verse 8. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Think about that for a moment, every tear. Not just the dramatic ones, not just the ones from the big events, but every single tear has been noticed, counted, collected, written down. You never cried alone, not once. Even when you felt abandoned, even when you felt foolish for still caring, even when you accused yourself of being too sensitive, heaven was saying, no, this is precious to me. This is proof of your heart. Your tears are not evidence of weakness. They are evidence that your heart is still alive, still able to feel, still capable of loving and hoping. In a world that numbs itself, your ability to feel so deeply is a mark of heaven upon you. The enemy tried to use those painful moments to break you, to convince you that you are unseen and unheard. He whispered, if God really cared, you wouldn't be going through this. If you were truly chosen, you wouldn't hurt like this. But the truth is the opposite. You have walked through so much precisely because you are chosen. Your capacity for pain often mirrors your capacity for purpose. Your depth of sorrow often reveals the depth of compassion God is building in you for others. One day, what you survived will become the very oil you pour on other wounded hearts. You will speak, and people will feel. They get it. They understand. You will carry an authority that does not come from theory, but from scars that have met the healer. The tears you cried in private will turn into wisdom you share in public. The places where you felt most alone will become the very places where God uses you to break loneliness off of others. Right now, heaven is not asking you to pretend it didn't hurt. Heaven is inviting you to recognize that your pain has always been seen, always been counted, always been held. You are not crazy for still feeling it. You are not behind for still healing. You are not a burden for needing God this much. This is what chosen ones look like in the middle of their story, raw, in process, but deeply loved and fiercely protected. If this is touching that hidden place in you, if your heart is saying, that's me, then respond in a simple but powerful way. In the comments, type I am seen. Do not overthink it. This is more than just words. It is a declaration that you choose to believe heaven's view over your pain instead of the lies of abandonment. As you write it, you are agreeing with what God has been saying all along. None of your tears were wasted, and neither are you. When you look over your life, it's easy to think it's just bad luck, just how things happen for you. But chosen one, there is more going on than you've been told. Behind the scenes of your disappointments, delays, and repeated cycles, there has been a very real, very intentional strategy at work, one designed not just to frustrate you, but to shut down your calling before it fully awakens. Notice the pattern. Just when you start to gain momentum, something hits. When you finally decide to get serious about your spiritual life, distractions multiply. When you prepare to step into a new level of obedience, old temptations resurface. When you open your heart to the right kind of relationship or community, someone from your past shows up, pulling you back toward the version of you God is trying to deliver you from. This is not random. Darkness is threatened by the idea of you fully awake. You have lived through strange delays that made no sense. Opportunities that seemed perfect slipped through your fingers. Doors that were wide open suddenly slammed shut without explanation. People who promised support went silent right when you needed them most. If you don't see this through spiritual eyes, you will think you are cursed, unlucky, or simply not good enough. But that is exactly what the enemy wants you to believe. If he can convince you that you are disqualified or forgotten, he doesn't have to chain your feet. You will chain your own heart with discouragement. There is a design to the pressure that comes against you. It often goes after the same areas: your identity, your sense of worth, your trust in God's timing, your ability to believe that good things are actually for you. The enemy knows he cannot erase what God has written over your life. So he tries to exhaust you until you stop reaching for it. He tries to make your hope feel foolish, your prayers feel powerless, your calling feel imaginary. Look closely at the moments when you almost stepped fully into obedience and then something just happened. The argument that came out of nowhere, the sudden wave of apathy, the distraction that felt harmless but started to eat your time and focus, the return of a habit you thought you were free from. None of these things are coincidences. You are in a war, and the battlefield is your attention, your alignment, your agreement. Heaven does not want you ignorant of this. The ancient words recorded in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and have it to the full." The enemy's strategy is simple, but relentless: to steal what God gave you, to kill what God breathed in you, to destroy what God wants to build through you. Those patterns of loss, those cycles of self-sabotage, those waves of despair are not just you being dramatic. They are evidence that a thief has marked your life as dangerous and is trying to rob you before you fully rise. So many of the strange, repeating battles you face have this one assignment: keep you small, keep you distracted, keep you doubting. If the enemy can't drag you back into blatant darkness, he will try to keep you lukewarm, doing just enough to look good, but never stepping fully into the fire of your purpose. He wants you busy, but not effective, emotional, but not surrendered, aware of God, but not aligned with Him. Think of the doors that never opened when you wanted them to. Some of them were blocked by the enemy. Yes, but some of them were guarded by God, because walking through them would have led you away from your real assignment. The enemy's plot has always been to bait you with counterfeit paths, relationships that look good but drain you spiritually, opportunities that pay well but suffocate your soul, environments that applaud you but pull you away from God's voice. He uses disappointment to plant a question in you: is God really for me? He uses delay to whisper, maybe God forgot about you. He uses betrayal to suggest, you're safer alone. Don't trust. Don't open up again. Bit by bit, he tries to isolate you, numb you, and silence you. A muted chosen one is a victory for hell. But now heaven is exposing the script. When you see the pattern, you strip the enemy of his advantage. When you recognize This is not just random, this is an attack on my calling. Something shifts. You stop agreeing with defeat. You stop calling yourself unlucky and start calling it what it is, resistance. And resistance is proof that you are advancing towards something valuable. You are not cursed. You are contested. You are not abandoned. You are targeted. Hell does not waste bullets on people who pose no threat. The very intensity of the warfare around your life is confirmation of the weight you carry in the spirit. The strategy formed against you is real, but so is the life Jesus came to give you. And as you awaken to this, the cycles that once felt unbreakable begin to crack under the weight of truth. There comes a point, chosen one, where the patterns are no longer just patterns. They become proof. Proof that you are not simply going through life, but standing in the middle of a battlefield. Proof that you are not just a person with problems, but a carrier of purpose under pressure. And with that proof comes something unavoidable, a line in the sand. You can feel it even now. You are not where you used to be, but you are not yet fully where you are called to be. You know too much to go back, but you have not yet fully stepped in. You love God, but there are still areas you protect from His touch. You pray, but there are parts of your life where you still negotiate with compromise. You sense heaven pulling you forward, and at the same time, you feel the weight of habits, people, and patterns pulling you back. This tension is not random. This is the moment where God draws a holy boundary and asks, which side will you stand on? There are things you used to entertain that now feel wrong, even if no one preached to you about them. Jokes that leave your spirit heavy, conversations that drain you, environments that used to excite you but now feel cold, dark, or empty. This is not you becoming boring. This is you becoming holy. Your spirit is outgrowing what your flesh still clings to. That discomfort you feel when you go back to old ways is not condemnation. It is evidence that you do not belong there anymore. Yet the pull of compromise is real. It often comes wrapped in soft justifications. It's not that serious. Everyone else is doing it. At least I'm better than before. God understands. Yes, God understands, but He also calls. He understands your weakness, but He will not lower your destiny to match your comfort zone. His love is not a permission slip to stay stuck. His love is a hand extended, pulling you upward, out of cycles that keep you half alive. There are relationships you maintain even though you know they stunt your growth. There are habits you entertain that quietly steal your clarity. There are secret agreements in your heart lines you say you will never cross, but corners you still cut. And the danger is not that God will stop loving you. The danger is that compromise will dull your hearing until you stop noticing His voice. That is why heaven is speaking with such clarity now, not to shame you, but to save you from slow spiritual numbing. Listen to this ancient challenge that still stands in front of you right now. The voice of God thundered in the book of Joshua, chapter 24, verse 15. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. There it is, the word that slices through excuses and postponements. Choose this day, not someday, not when life settles down, not when you feel ready. This day, this season, this moment when you can feel God's hand on your heart. He is not asking you to be perfect overnight. He is asking you to be fully His, to stop treating obedience as a negotiation and start treating it as your new normal, to stop visiting his presence while living in atmospheres that starve your spirit, to stop giving him your Sundays while giving your loyalty to things that rebel against him the rest of the week. The line in the sand is not about rules, it is about allegiance. Who truly has your yes? You have no idea how much is tied to your decision. There are generational patterns waiting to be broken on the other side of your obedience. There are people you haven't even met yet whose freedom is connected to your surrender. The enemy fights your yes so hard because he knows your yes is contagious. Once you fully cross that line, your life stops being about survival and becomes a doorway for others. This is a holy moment, not a moment for fear, but for clarity. You can feel it, the Spirit pressing gently but firmly. You know which habit needs to go. You know which message you should stop answering. You know which environment you need to step out of. You know the step, and heaven is giving you courage to take it. You will not do it in your own strength. You will do it with grace that meets you the moment you decide. If this word is confirming what God has already been whispering in your spirit, honor that. Take it seriously. Sit with it. Talk to God honestly about what needs to change. And if this space, these messages, are helping you stay awake and aligned, then stay close, gently, sincerely. I invite you like this, so it remains a marker in your feed. Share it with another heart you know is standing on their own line in the sand. And subscribe so you don't walk this journey of surrender and rising alone. You are standing on holy ground, chosen one. The line is drawn, and by grace, you will step over it. There are moments in your journey where the atmosphere shifts, even before the circumstances do. You feel it before you see it. Lately, something in you has been restless. Places that once felt comfortable now feel tight, small, almost suffocating. Conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. Old habits you used to run to for comfort no longer satisfy. You have been trying to figure out what is wrong with you. But chosen one, nothing is wrong with you. Something is changing around you. Heaven is moving you. When God is about to open new doors, He often starts by quietly closing old ones. Sometimes those doors shut gently, a job that no longer lines up, a friendship that slowly drifts, an interest that fades. Other times they slam a sudden ending, an unexpected loss, a shift that feels brutal and unfair. In both cases, it is disorienting. Your mind clings to what was, while your spirit is being pulled toward what will be. That tension you feel is the sound of doors closing and hinges turning in the unseen realm. You may look at your life and think, why does it feel like everything is being stripped? Why do I keep losing what I thought I needed? But heaven sees it differently. God is not randomly tearing your life apart. He is carefully removing what cannot go with you into your next chapter. There are relationships that were sweet in one season but would be toxic in the next. There are environments you could survive in before, but they would suffocate your calling now. There are habits you once tolerated that, if kept, would quietly drain the power God is placing on your life. You prayed for breakthrough, and heaven heard you. But breakthrough rarely comes without disruption. For something new to be built, something old must be cleared. You cannot carry every attachment, every distraction, every familiar pattern into a higher dimension of purpose. You are not being punished, you are being pruned. And, though pruning feels like loss, it is actually proof that God sees fruit in you worth protecting and multiplying. Listen carefully to the heartbeat of heaven over you in this time of transition. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, "See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." The very places in your life that feel wild, dry, and confusing are the exact places where God is carving new paths and pouring fresh water. What looks like wilderness to you looks like construction ground to Him. Think back on recent shifts. The friend who suddenly turned distant, the door that looked perfect but refused to open. No matter how hard you knocked, the opportunity that crumbled just when you thought it would carry you forward. You saw rejection, heaven saw redirection. God is too intentional to let every door open just because you want it to. Some no's are loud expressions of His protection over your destiny. You might even be grieving right now, grieving the version of your life you imagined, the timeline you planned, the person you thought would walk with you into the future. That grief is real, and heaven does not dismiss it. But beneath the ache, there is also an invitation. Will you trust that God's imagination for your life is bigger than yours? Will you trust that His new thing is worth letting go of your old thing? This is where many chosen ones get stuck, standing in a hallway of almosts and not quites. One hand on the doorknob of the past and the other reaching toward the future. But you cannot live the rest of your life in a hallway. At some point, you have to let the old door click shut so the new one can fully swing open. That might mean deleting a number, turning down a compromise opportunity, walking away from an atmosphere that keeps you small, or finally taking the step you've been postponing out of fear. You may not see the full blueprint yet, and that's okay. God rarely shows you everything at once. He often reveals the next step, not the final picture. Your job is not to control the blueprint. Your job is to obey the next instruction. Old doors closing are not the end of your story. They are the sound of your story turning a sacred page. If this word is confirming what you've been sensing, the endings, the shifts, the quiet, pull away from some things and toward others, then respond with simple faith. In the comments, type 888. Let that number be your prophetic agreement that you are ready for new beginnings, that you release what cannot stay, and that you trust God to open the doors that truly belong to your destiny. As you write it, you are not just typing a symbol, you are aligning your heart with heaven's new thing over your life. Section 7. As these doors close and new ones begin to form in front of you, there is something heaven needs you to understand. You are not just a survivor walking from one season to the next. You are royalty, being moved from one realm of authority to another. This is why the pressure has been so intense. This is why the shifts have felt so costly. God is not simply adjusting your circumstances, He is awakening your identity. For so long, you have looked at yourself through the lenses handed to you by people and pain. You saw yourself as the one who always gets left, the one who has to work twice as hard, the one who is strong for everyone else, the one who is too much or not enough. Those labels have tried to cling to you like dust. They settled on you slowly, through comments, experiences, disappointments, and comparisons. Without realizing it, you started to live as if those labels were truth. You walked into rooms with your shoulders slightly lowered, as if apologizing for your presence. You downplayed your gifts so others wouldn't feel threatened. You shrank in conversations even when you carried more wisdom than the voices dominating the space. When doors did open, you wondered if it was a mistake, if you were an imposter, if at any moment someone would realize you weren't supposed to be there. This is what happens when a crowned soul has forgotten it wears a crown. Heaven, however, has never agreed with those false identities. From the beginning, you were not just called to be good or nice, you were called to be royal, not in the shallow, worldly sense of ego and entitlement, but in the spiritual reality of authority and responsibility. Royalty in the kingdom is not about being above people. It is about being set apart to serve them with power, purity, and courage. Listen to how heaven speaks about you. Chosen one. Asterisk, asterisk. The apostle reminds us in the first letter of Peter, chapter 2, verse 9, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." Asterisk, asterisk. This is not poetic flattery, it is legal identity in the spirit. You are not random, you are chosen. You are not common, you are royal. You are not worthless, you are God's own possession. A royal priesthood means you stand in two places at once before God and among people. You carry the weight of heaven's presence into earthly spaces. You are a bridge between the heart of God and the hearts of those who don't yet know him. This is why you feel so deeply. This is why injustice bothers you so much. This is why compromise never sits right with you for long. Royals cannot be comfortable in chains. Priests cannot be comfortable in polluted atmospheres. Think of a crown for a moment. It doesn't make someone valuable. It reveals the value they already have in the order of the kingdom. Your crown in heaven's eyes is not a physical object. It is the mark of God's calling on your life. It is the favor that follows you, the resilience that kept you from collapsing, the wisdom you gained in battles, the compassion born from your tears. It is the way darkness recognizes you even when you try to hide. It is the reason some people react strangely to you without knowing why. Something in them senses the weight you carry. But identity is not just a feeling, it is a choice you agree with. Every day, you are invited to live as royalty or as a prisoner of old lies. Royals do not speak about themselves carelessly. They do not curse their own lives with words of defeat. They do not surround themselves with atmospheres that dishonor their king. They move with intentionality, not arrogance, knowing that everywhere they go, they represent more than themselves. This is what God is calling you into now, a life that matches who you truly are. To think like someone crowned, not cast away. To walk with quiet confidence, not loud insecurity. To choose purity, not because you are afraid, but because you understand your value. A jewel is not guarded because it is fragile, it is guarded because it is priceless. You are that jewel. As your awareness of this grows, shame begins to lose its grip. The memories of failure that once defined you become chapters, not titles. The mistakes you made become training, not your identity. You look in the mirror and, instead of seeing someone broken beyond repair, you begin to see someone being rebuilt with intention, a royal one, a priestly one, a chosen one, carrying heaven's crown in an ordinary body but with an extraordinary assignment. You are not pretending when you live like this. You are finally being honest about who you were always meant to be. Even as you begin to see your royalty, there's still a part of your story that confuses you, the wilderness. Those years, or even decades, that felt like wandering, the prayers that seemed to bounce off the ceiling, the opportunities that never came, the relationships that broke, the silence of God that almost felt like abandonment, if you're honest. Those are the chapters that made you question everything. You remember what it felt like. Waking up heavy, going through the motions, wondering why everyone else seemed to be moving forward while you stayed stuck in the same place. You watched others get the job, the relationship, the breakthrough, the platform, the affirmation. Meanwhile, your life felt like circles in the sand, moving, but not arriving. You tried to be strong, but deep down the thought haunted you, did God forget me here? That's the lie wilderness seasons always whisper. If God loved you, it wouldn't be this hard for this long. The enemy loves to stand in dry places and use the empty landscape as evidence against the goodness of God. He points at your unanswered questions, your unfulfilled desires, and your unhealed wounds, and says, "See, you're not chosen, you're rejected." But heaven tells a different story about your wilderness, from God's perspective. Those seasons were not proof of rejection, they were the training ground of the chosen. When the noise faded, when the familiar props were removed, when you were left with just you and God, something sacred was happening. You were being unhooked from false sources. You were being taught to hear a quieter, deeper voice. You were being stripped of what you thought you needed so you could discover what you actually carry. Listen to how heaven describes such a season. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years, to humble and test you, in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. Notice the wording, led you all the way in the wilderness. You were not abandoned there, you were led there. The wilderness was not a place God lost you in, it was a place he walked with you through. Think of what was exposed in you during those rough stretches. The fears you didn't know you had, the hidden pride, the need to control outcomes, the way you used people, success, or busyness to distract yourself from deeper emptiness. The wilderness pulled all of that to the surface, not to shame you, but to free you. What you never see, you never heal. In easier seasons, you might have stayed distracted forever. In the wilderness, there was nowhere to hide from what needed to be transformed. And then there was your prayer life. You may not have had eloquent words, but your simple, tired prayers in that season were some of the purest you ever prayed. God, help me. God, please don't leave me. God, I don't understand, but I still choose you. Those prayers were not small. They were foundations. They built something in your spirit that comfort and success never could. In the wilderness, you learned how to seek God for who he is, not just for what he can give. You also discovered your resilience there. You learned you could survive what you thought would kill you. You learned how to get back up when you didn't feel strong. You learned how to function without applause, how to obey even when no one was watching, how to worship when nothing around you looked like victory. The wilderness taught you the difference between a feeling-based faith and a rooted one. Yes, you made mistakes there too. There were days you doubted, moments you complained, times you tried to go back to old comforts. But even those detours became lessons. You discovered what emptiness, false comforts leave behind. You realized how little the world really has to offer a soul that has tasted God. The more you sampled what the world called freedom, the more you realized it was just a different kind of cage. And here is the quiet truth while you thought nothing was happening. Heaven was taking notes. Integrity formed. Character deepened. Discernment sharpened. Compassion widened. You became someone who can recognize brokenness in others because you know its language. You became someone who can stand in fire without panicking because you have survived it before. You became someone who carries weight in the spirit because you didn't run from the weight when it felt unbearable. The wilderness did not shrink you, it forged you. The very places where you felt most alone are now the places where you carry the most authority. What once was your valley is becoming your oil. What was once your pain is becoming your platform, not of pride, but of understanding and mercy. You were never rejected there. You were refined. And now, as God leads you out, you will see it more clearly. Nothing was wasted, and neither were you. There is a reason the pressure increased when you started to wake up. For a long time, you thought it was just life being life. But you are beginning to see the pattern the moment you decide to pray more. Your mind gets attacked. The moment you set boundaries, people start reacting strangely. The moment you say, "I will obey," old temptations come back dressed in new outfits. This is not random. Your light is starting a war in hell. You have to understand this darkness is not bothered when you are silent, numb, or distracted. As long as you stay in cycles, as long as you stay spiritually sleepy, the enemy can leave you on autopilot. But the moment you start saying no to what used to own you, the moment you begin to renounce what once chained you, there is a response in the spiritual realm. You feel it in strange resistance, in sudden heaviness, in moments that feel like they came out of nowhere. You may have noticed it in your dreams, battles, chases, confrontations, confusion. Nights you wake up more exhausted than when you went to sleep. Days when your mind is foggy for no logical reason. You set your heart to seek God, and almost immediately a wave of distraction, anxiety, or temptation hits. People who never called suddenly want your time. Opportunities that pull you away from God's presence show up disguised as blessings. This is not coincidence, it is strategy. Hell is afraid of a focused you. A scattered you is manageable. A divided you is predictable. But a you who realizes, wait, this is warfare. This is not just my mood. This is not just bad luck. I am being targeted because I am dangerous to darkness. That version of you becomes a problem for the kingdom of darkness. Awareness is a weapon. When you stop fighting people and start addressing the real battle, everything shifts. Heaven wants you to see what is truly happening. As the apostle wrote in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." You are not crazy. You are not overreacting. You are in a war that your eyes cannot see, but your spirit keeps feeling. Notice how the enemy often uses people, not because they are evil, but because they are unguarded. He whispers into insecurity, offense, or jealousy, and suddenly someone close to you begins to tear you down right as you start to rise. He pokes at old wounds and then sends someone to press on them. If you don't see the real source, you will waste your strength fighting flesh and blood, losing energy on arguments instead of using your authority in prayer. You have also felt it in timing. Right when you try to fast, your schedule explodes. Right when you prepare to spend time with God, urgent distractions appear. Right when you are about to take a step of faith, a voice in your head screams, "Who do you think you are?" The enemy cannot stop God from calling you. So he tries to exhaust you until you stop answering. But here is what hell did not expect. You still didn't break. You are still here, still listening, still responding. Every time you chose to get back up after a fall, every time you whispered, "Jesus, help me," when you felt like running back to your old life, you were swinging back in the spirit. You have been learning how to fight. Even when you thought you were just barely surviving, your light is disruptive. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift, not because you are loud, but because you are carrying something. Demonic structures in families, workplaces, and regions have been comfortable for years, and your presence, your prayers, your worship, your obedience begins to crack the walls they've built. That's why you feel strange tension in certain environments. That's why some people feel oddly defensive or irritated around you for no logical reason. Their darkness feels your light. Do not let this make you afraid. Let it make you aware. You are not a helpless target. You are a warrior in training. God has not left you to fight empty-handed. Your authority is not in your volume, but in your alignment. The more you agree with truth, the less room lies have to torment you. The more you live clean, the less access the enemy has to accuse and manipulate you. Right now, heaven is inviting you to respond not with fear, but with a declaration. If everything in this section is exposing what you've been secretly experiencing, then in the comments write, "I stand firm." Keep it simple. As you type those 3 words, let it be more than a sentence. Let it be a stance. You are saying, "I recognize the war, but I refuse to bow to it. I will not retreat into compromise or confusion. I plant my feet in God's truth and I will not move." Hell has thrown much at you already, and you are still standing. Now you will stand with understanding, with authority, and with unwavering light. By now you can feel it. This isn't just inspiration anymore. Heaven is not only encouraging you, heaven is instructing you. You don't just need another emotional high, you need a holy blueprint. Because being chosen without clear steps can leave you frustrated. You feel the fire, but you're not always sure where to aim it. You know you're called higher, but what does that actually look like tomorrow morning, next week, next month? God is not the author of confusion. When He marks someone, He also guides them. You are not meant to wander through your calling guessing. Heaven loves to give specific direction to willing hearts. And right now, there are next steps being placed gently but firmly in front of you. This is not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about living like someone who truly believes they are chosen. Listen to the wisdom heaven has already released for moments just like this. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5 and verse 6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Your paths become straight not when you understand everything, but when you trust and submit everything. That's what these next steps are about. Trust in action. Step 1. Make daily surrender. your first move, not your last resort. Before you touch your phone, before you scroll, whisper, God, I give you this day. Lead me. It doesn't need to be long or complicated, but it needs to be real. When you start your day surrendered, you invite heaven to order what you cannot foresee. Over time, that simple morning yes becomes a shield over your decisions, your emotions, and your reactions. Step 2, feed your spirit on purpose. You cannot live a chosen life on starvation-level truth. Set aside time, 10 minutes, 15, whatever you can truly protect to be in God's Word. Start with a gospel, a psalm, or a letter like Ephesians or James. Don't rush. Don't read to finish, read to hear. Ask, Lord, what are you saying to me here? One verse deeply received can do more than 10 chapters skimmed. Step 3, raise the standard on what you allow into your atmosphere, what you watch, listen to, and laugh with shapes you more than you realize. Ask yourself honestly, does this content make it easier or harder to hear God? Does this conversation leave me cleaner or more confused? You are royalty. You cannot binge on poison and expect your spirit to stay sharp. You don't have to be legalistic, but you do have to be deliberate. Step 4, protect your time like it's sacred territory. Because it is. Hell doesn't always steal destiny with big sins. Often it steals it with small distractions. Choose one concrete habit, maybe limiting mindless scrolling, setting a cut-off time at night, or dedicating a specific hour as no phone. Just God and focus. Time you reclaim from distraction is time heaven can fill with clarity. Step 5, obey precisely where God has already been speaking. You don't need 1,000 new instructions, you need to respond to the one He's highlighted. Maybe it's walking away from a compromise relationship. Maybe it's forgiving someone you keep rehearsing arguments with in your head. Maybe it's finally letting go of that secret habit you excuse but hate. Ask, what is the one area you're putting your finger on? Lord, then, with trembling but honest resolve, act. Obedience opens doors that begging never will. Step 6, stop trying to do this completely alone. Isolation is a trap, especially for the chosen. Pray specifically, God, send me pure, sharpened, surrendered people. Then pay attention. It might be one person, not a crowd. It might be someone who challenges you, not just comforts you. And at the same time, give yourself permission to step back from circles that drag you into the version of yourself God is freeing you from. Your alliances shape your altitude. Step 7, record what God is doing. Get a simple notebook or digital note where you capture prayers, dreams, confirmations, and small victories. Write down what you sense God saying, even if you're not 100% sure. Over time, you'll start seeing patterns, prayers answered, warnings given, cycles broken. This will anchor you on days when you feel nothing. Your own history with God will testify that He is, in fact, moving. These are not random lifestyle tips. They are alignment instructions. As you walk them out imperfectly, but consistently, you will find your path straightening in ways that surprise you. Confusion will begin to fade. Opportunities that match your calling will start to come into view. You will feel less like you're drifting and more like you're being led. And if, as you're hearing this, you feel in your spirit, This is exactly what I needed. Then hold on to it. Don't let it vanish into the noise of your day. Save it in your heart. And if this space is helping you stay focused and obedient, stay close to it. Genuinely. Chosen one, I invite you like this so you can return to these steps. Share it with someone else who is searching for direction. And subscribe so you have a steady stream of guidance as you walk out what heaven is speaking over you. You are not just called, you are being coached by heaven. Now, step by step, day by day, you will walk it out. There is another layer to your calling that heaven will not let you ignore the people around you. You are not walking this path in a vacuum. Every voice you entertain, every presence you consistently allow into your space, is either watering your destiny or draining it. As God elevates you, He will always address your relationships who must go, who can stay, and who He is sending. Think about your journey so far. There were seasons where certain people felt like everything. You built dreams around them. You lowered your standards for them. You compromised your peace to keep them. You silenced your convictions so they wouldn't feel uncomfortable. You told yourself, this is just loyalty. Even when your spirit whispered, this is bondage. You wanted to be loved so badly that you tolerated what was slowly killing parts of you. Some of those people weren't evil. They were just not aligned with where God was taking you. They were comfortable in cycles you were called to break. They were committed to atmospheres you were called to leave. They loved a version of you that heaven would not let you stay in. So as you began to change, tension started to surface. Jokes about your new seriousness. Comments like, "You're different now," not said with admiration, but with subtle accusation. Invitations to go back to what God had already pulled you out of. This is why the warfare around relationships can feel more painful than any other area. You don't just lose people, you grieve futures you imagined with them. You don't just outgrow connections, you wrestle with guilt for needing more. You question yourself, am I being judgmental? Am I abandoning them? But there is a difference between abandoning someone and refusing to share a grave with them. You are not required to die spiritually so others can stay comfortable. Heaven speaks straight into this area because it is crucial. The Apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 15, verse 33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. That isn't about being better than others. It's about understanding that who you walk with shapes who you become. Even the strongest call can be slowly dulled by constant exposure to people who mock, dismiss, or resist what God is doing in you. Ask yourself honestly, who do you feel smaller around? Whose presence pulls you back into old conversations, old habits, old mindsets? Who rolls their eyes when you talk about what God is stirring in you? Who only calls when they need something, but disappears when you are the one in need? These are not neutral connections. These are weights tied to your ankles when heaven is asking you to run. Then ask the other side, who do you feel sharper around? Who challenges you to rise without shaming you? Who respects your boundaries instead of constantly testing them? Who talks about their own battles with humility and points you back to God? Not to drama, these are companions, not just contacts. They may be few, but they are precious. God often builds with a remnant, not a crowd. You might be afraid that if you release some relationships, you will end up alone. But chosen one, fake unity is lonelier than holy separation. Sitting in a room surrounded by people who don't truly see you. Pretending to be someone you've outgrown, that is isolation in disguise. When God asks you to step back from certain connections, He is not punishing you. He is making room. Room for destiny helpers. Room for aligned voices. Room for iron that sharpens iron. Not chains that drag chains. Releasing someone doesn't always mean dramatic exits or endless explanations. Sometimes it looks like quieter choices, replying slower, declining certain invitations, no longer sharing sacred things with unsafe hearts. Sometimes it means clear, respectful boundaries. I can't go there anymore. That topic is not healthy for me. I love you, but I need to protect my walk with God. You're not responsible for how everyone reacts. You are responsible for guarding the call on your life. At the same time, God will highlight the ones who are meant to walk with you. Some of them may not look overly spiritual by outward standards, but you'll recognize something deeper: humility, hunger, honesty. Pay attention to the ones who celebrate your growth instead of competing with it. Notice the ones who gently correct you when you drift. Not from a place of control, but from genuine care. These are gifts. Answers to prayers you may have forgotten you prayed. You do not have to cling to every relationship to prove you are loving. Jesus loved perfectly, yet He moved with discernment. 12 close, 3 closer, 1 leaning on His chest. Even He did not give everyone the same level of access. Why should you? Your heart is valuable. Your time is valuable. Your calling is costly. As God refines your circle, it will hurt at times. But on the other side of that pain is a new level of clarity, strength, and peace. You will look back one day and realize those who stayed were meant to stay. Those who left were meant to leave. And through it all, you were never walking alone. There is a part of your calling that the enemy has tried to keep you confused about for a long time: money, finances, resources. You have felt the tension loving God, longing to live fully for Him, and yet dealing with bills, responsibilities, dreams that require provision, and a world that runs on currency. You've been pulled between extremes: fear of lack on one side and fear of being too focused on money on the other. In that confusion, the enemy has tried to keep you small, anxious, and apologetic for even desiring more. But chosen one, heaven sees this differently. Your calling is not separate from your finances. Your finances are part of your calling. You are not meant to crawl through life just barely surviving, counting every coin in panic, unable to respond when God nudges you to give. Go, build, or bless. You carry a mantle of provision, not just for yourself, but for others. The resources that will flow through your life are weapons in God's hand and answers to someone else's prayer. Think of how money has been used against you. Times you felt trapped in toxic environments because you couldn't afford to leave. Moments when you knew an opportunity wasn't aligned with your spirit, but fear of not having enough pushed you to say yes. Seasons where you were so stressed about survival that you had little energy left for spiritual growth. The enemy knows that if he can keep you in financial fear, he can keep your mind so occupied with survival that you have little space left to fully step into assignment. But heaven never designed you to serve money. You were designed to serve God and to make money serve the purposes of God in your life. You are not called to worship success. You are called to steward it. There is a vast difference between chasing wealth for ego and receiving provision for assignment. One makes you a slave, the other makes you a channel. Listen to how heaven speaks into this area. We find in the book of Philippians, chapter 4, Verse 19, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." This is not a vague encouragement, it is a promise anchored in the character of God. Your needs, emotional, spiritual, physical, practical, are not an afterthought to heaven. God is not embarrassed by your needs. He is not annoyed by the reality that your assignment requires resources. However, there is alignment required. God is not obligated to fund every version of your life. He funds what he has called. When you align your priorities with his, when you seek him first, when you allow him to refine your motives, something shifts. Provision begins to connect to purpose. Doors you could not have opened through hustling alone begin to open because heaven is backing them. Ideas come. Strategies form. Unexpected favor appears. Not because you are lucky, but because you are aligned. Part of that alignment is healing your view of work and gifting. Your job, business, or creative skill is not separate from your spiritual life. It is one of the primary channels through which God wants to pour provision. The talents you carry are not random. They are clues to how God intends to position you in the world. When you treat your work as worship, when you operate in integrity and excellence, heaven can breathe on what you do in ways that go beyond your own ability. Another part is dealing honestly with your heart. Do you secretly believe that poverty is more holy than provision? Do you feel guilty when you imagine having more than enough, or on the other side? Do you feel like if I just had money, everything would be fine? Placing your hope in resources instead of in God. Both extremes are traps. Heaven's goal is not to make you obsessed with money or afraid of it. Heaven's goal is to make you free, free to give, free to obey, free to walk away from anything that requires you to sell your soul for a paycheck. The mantle on your life is bigger than personal comfort. There are projects God wants you to fund, families he wants you to bless, ministries he wants you to support, people he wants you to employ, and assignments that will require you to move when he says go without money being a chain around your ankle. This is why he is going after your mindset now, because how you think about provision will shape how far you can go in your calling. If this is resonating with you, if you can feel God confronting both your fear of lack and your fear of abundance, then respond in a simple prophetic way. In the comments, type 444. Let that number be your agreement that you step into divine order in this area. God first, purpose second, provision aligned to both. As you write it, you are declaring, I refuse to be ruled by money. I accept the mantle of provision on my life, and I trust God to meet my needs as I walk in my calling. You have walked through the slow seasons. You have endured the waiting rooms of heaven, where days felt repetitive and progress felt invisible. There were years when you wondered if anything would ever change, if all the promises spoken over your life were just ideas that sounded good but would never materialize. You grew used to delay, almost expecting disappointment as the default outcome. But chosen one, heaven is shifting gears. When God has finished a work in the hidden place, there comes a time of acceleration, a season when what has been growing underground suddenly breaks the surface. To everyone else, it looks overnight. But you and heaven know the truth. There were years behind that moment that nobody saw. You may already feel the tremors of this acceleration. Strange opportunities appearing unexpectedly. People noticing your gifts without you pushing yourself forward. Old doors that were sealed suddenly cracking open. New ideas dropping into your spirit with unusual clarity. A sense that something is about to happen, even if you cannot name it yet. That quiet, electric anticipation is often the sign that heaven has moved your life onto a different track. Acceleration does not mean chaos, though it may feel like everything is happening at once. It means timing fulfilled. There are things God could not release earlier, not because he enjoyed watching you wait, but because early release would have crushed you or corrupted you. Promise without preparation can destroy a person. Visibility without rooting can seduce them. Influence without character can expose them to battles they are not strong enough to face. Heaven has not forgotten a single word spoken over you, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. In the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false, though it linger. Wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." Notice that tension. It may feel like it lingers. Yet at the appointed time, it does not delay. There is a right moment built into the promise. And when that moment comes, everything moves quickly. This is where you are beginning to step. The very areas where you felt most delayed may become the places of sudden movement. The dreams you thought were dead may begin to stir again, but differently this time, with more maturity, more purity, and more alignment. The version of you that now carries them has been refined. You don't crave platform like you used to, you crave impact. You don't idolize speed, you value depth. You aren't chasing validation, you're pursuing obedience. That heart posture is what heaven can accelerate safely. But acceleration comes with its own tests. When things speed up, pressure increases. Decisions must be made more quickly. Opportunities come stacked on top of each other, and not all of them are from God. In this season, discernment becomes just as important as movement. Just because a door opens does not mean you should walk through it. Some doors are distractions dressed as destiny. You will need to ask different questions now. Not, is this exciting, but is this God? Not, does this make me look successful, but does this keep me aligned with my assignment? Not, how fast can I go, but how clean can I stay while I go? Acceleration without holiness is a fast road to burnout and compromise. Acceleration with holiness is a fast road to impact and glory to God. You may also feel old insecurities trying to rise again. Am I ready for this? What if I fail? What if this all falls apart? But look at your history. You have walked through fire and did not die. You have survived wilderness and did not lose your mind. You have been stretched, humbled, corrected, and strengthened. You will not enter this accelerated season as the naive version of yourself. You enter it as someone who has scars and wisdom. Someone who has learned to depend on God when nothing made sense. That dependence will anchor you when things move faster than they ever have. Another key in acceleration is pace with God, not with people. You will see others running in many directions. Opportunities will try to pull you into comparison. They're further than me. I need to catch up. I'm behind. But heaven is not measuring you against anyone else's timeline. Your acceleration is customized. It's not just about how much you do, but how specifically you do what you were actually sent here to do. So do not be surprised when days begin to feel fuller, when divine connections increase, when doors you didn't even know existed start to appear. You are not losing your mind. You are stepping into a prepared time. God has not rushed this, and neither should you. But you also must not resist it out of fear. You were built for more than slow motion. You were built for appointed time. And now, that time is drawing near, there is a truth heaven is pressing on your heart now. One that many avoid because it is uncomfortable. But you cannot afford to ignore it. Being chosen does not cancel the danger of disobedience. Being loved by God does not make rebellion harmless. You are deeply loved, radically pursued, relentlessly offered mercy, but you are not exempt from spiritual laws. Fire still burns, whether you believe it or not. You have felt it before, that inner nudge, that quiet conviction, that sense that this is not okay for me anymore. You stood at a crossroads, one path toward obedience, the other toward what you wanted in the moment. Sometimes you chose well. Other times, if you're honest, you didn't. You silenced the voice. You explained it away. You said, "Just this once." You told yourself, "I'll deal with it later." The scary part is not that you fell. That happens to every human walking this earth. The scary part is what happens if you keep choosing rebellion after you've heard truth, after you've felt conviction, after you've seen God's hand. Each time you override His voice, your heart grows a little harder. The same thing that once made you tremble now barely stirs you. What once felt clearly wrong starts to feel not that bad. That is not maturity, that is numbness. The enemy loves this process. He doesn't always try to drag you into obvious darkness overnight. He works in layers, slowly. First, he tries to convince you that obedience is optional. Then he whispers that conviction is just religious guilt. Finally, he pushes the lie that because nothing bad happened immediately after you disobeyed, God must be fine with it. That is how blindness forms, not in one dramatic moment, but in a series of small, ignored warnings. Heaven is intervening now because you are too important to lose this way. As was written in the letter to the Hebrews, chapter 3, verse 15, "Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion." Notice that word today. Not tomorrow when it's more convenient. Not later when you feel ready. Today, every time God speaks. There is a window of softness in your heart. If you respond, that softness deepens into intimacy. If you ignore it, that softness starts to crust over. You are not playing with suggestions. You are standing in the middle of a spiritual emergency. There truly is a point where repeated rebellion no longer feels dangerous to you, and that is the danger. When sin no longer disturbs you, when compromise no longer stings, when conviction fades into background noise, blindness is taking root. You become capable of calling bondage freedom, calling bitterness boundaries, calling disobedience just being human. And yet, even as heaven warns you with such intensity, there is hope woven through every word. The very fact that you still feel convicted, the very fact that this message hits a nerve, is proof that your heart is not gone. Conviction is not a punishment, it is a gift. It is heaven shouting, "The door is still open. Turn around before this path takes more than you ever intended to give." Think of what you risk losing with each step deeper into rebellion, not just blessings, but clarity. When your heart hardens, you stop recognizing God's voice. You start mistaking your own desires for divine direction. You open doors to confusion, torment, and unnecessary pain. Grace does not mean the consequences vanish. It means God keeps offering you a way out before those consequences swallow you. There are choices in front of you right now that matter more than you realize. That secret conversation you are entertaining, that habit you keep saying you'll quit soon, that bitterness you refuse to release, that relationship God has been gently putting his finger on. You are not one harmless decision away. You are one rebellion away from a level of blindness that will cost you time, peace, and opportunities heaven designed for you. This is not to terrorize you, but to wake you. You are too called, too marked, too needed to drift into darkness with a Bible in your hand and disobedience in your heart. You have already seen too much of God's goodness to pretend you do not know his voice. He is not shouting at you in anger. He is crying out to you in urgency. The good news is this: the same door that your rebellion tries to close, your repentance can reopen. The moment you stop arguing and start agreeing with God about what needs to change, something shifts in the spirit. Scales begin to fall. Sensitivity returns. What felt normal yesterday starts to grieve you today. That is mercy at work. That is heaven washing your eyes so you can see again. You are not beyond reach. You are being reached right now. Do not treat this as just another deep message. Treat it as a rescue, because that is exactly what it is. Up to this point, heaven has been healing you, warning you, realigning you, and revealing who you really are. But there is something you must see now. This was never just about you feeling better. This has always been about you becoming a carrier of something bigger than yourself. You are not only a survivor of battles, you are a torchbearer for your generation. Look back for a moment with clear eyes. The darkness you walked through was not ordinary. The heaviness that tried to take you out was not casual. The attacks on your mind, your identity, your relationships, your resources, they were all disproportionate compared to what others around you seemed to face. At times, you wondered, why me? Why does it always feel like I'm under more pressure than the people near me? The answer is hidden in the weight you carry. Hell does not waste its heaviest weapons on people who pose no threat. You have been contested because you are a carrier of light that was always meant to spread. The very areas where you bled are the areas where your fire will burn the brightest. Your testimony is not just a story, it is a torch. And torches are not meant to be hidden in closets of shame or fear. They are meant to be lifted. You are not called to be a silent believer who quietly escapes the world's chaos and hides in a corner of safety. You are called to walk straight into dark places with wisdom, with purity, with discernment, and shift atmospheres simply by being fully who God made you to be. Your presence in a room is not neutral. Your yes to God creates ripples in homes, workplaces, churches, cities. You are living proof that God still rescues, still restores, still raises up those everyone else counted out. Listen to how heaven describes those who carry this kind of assignment. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." Hear that again. In your spirit, you are the light. Not just have light, not just like light. You are the light of the world, because his light has taken residence inside you. A town on a hill doesn't get to decide whether it's visible. Its very position makes it seen. In the same way, your calling will not allow you to disappear. You can try to dim yourself to make others comfortable. You can try to lower your standards so people don't feel convicted. You can try to water down what God has shown you so you don't seem too intense. But eventually, the fire in you will start leaking out again. You were not designed for camouflage. You were designed for clarity. Being a torchbearer does not mean you shout at everyone or force your journey onto them. It means you live so authentically aligned with God that your life itself becomes an invitation. People will look at your peace in storm, your refusal to break under pressure, your kindness in a cruel world, your integrity when compromise would be easier, and something in them will wake up. They may not even have language for it, but they will feel it. There is something different about you. That something is someone. This mantle is both beautiful and costly. To carry it, you cannot live distracted. You cannot keep flirting with the very darkness you are called to expose. You cannot treat your time, your words, your choices as if they affect only you. Torchbearers understand that their private decisions shape their public impact. The fire you carry is fed in secret through prayer, surrender, repentance, and worship when no one is watching. You will not do this perfectly. There will still be days when you feel tired, tempted, or unsure. But even then, you are not alone. Heaven backs the ones it sends. When you step into rooms on assignment, you are not stepping in as just you. You are stepping in as someone commissioned. Angels move with you. Grace surrounds you. Wisdom will be given in the moment you need it. Doors will open not because of your name, but because of His. There will be people who don't understand this new version of you. Some will distance themselves. Some will misinterpret your boundaries as arrogance. Some will say, "You've changed," not realizing that change was exactly what you were born for. Let them talk. You are not here to prove your old self to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are here to carry light for those who are drowning in the darkness you once knew too well. If this word is pressing on your heart, if you can feel that this is bigger than just motivation, that it is a commissioning, then honor that sense deeply. Take a moment after this to sit with God and say, in your own raw words, "If you're really choosing me to carry this light, I say yes. Teach me how." And if this message has become a mirror for you, reflecting back the torch you didn't realize you were holding, then stay close to this kind of word. Let it remind you when you're tempted to shrink back. I genuinely invite you like this so you can find it again when the battle feels loud. Share it with someone you know is a hidden torchbearer who needs to be called forth. And subscribe so you can keep walking with a community that treats your calling seriously, not casually. Finally, in the comments, take a simple step of agreement. Write what part of this spoke to you most, or even just declare, "I carry the flame," not to impress anyone, but to mark this moment for yourself. Let it be your quiet yes in public view, a sign that you are done hiding your light and ready to walk as the torchbearer heaven always knew you were. There is something you need to understand at a deeper level. Chosen one, your obedience is not small, private, or limited to your lifetime. When heaven looks at your yes, it does not see only one person adjusting their life. It sees bloodlines shifting and timelines being rewritten. You are not just fighting for yourself. You are standing in the middle of a spiritual intersection where past, present, and future all collide. Look at your family story with honest eyes. Patterns didn't begin with you. Cycles of addiction, anger, poverty, broken marriages, spiritual dryness, Secrecy, fear, these threads have been woven through generations. Some of your relatives never had language for it. They simply called it how our family is, how things always go for us, our bad luck. But in the spirit, these weren't just random traits or coincidences, they were strongholds, unchallenged agreements, doors left open so long that bondage started to look like personality. You were born into that stream, but you were never meant to drown in it. Even before you knew God, something in you resisted certain patterns. You watched how people spoke to each other, how they handled conflict, how they ran to substances or silence, how they stayed small and afraid, and a quiet thought rose in you. I don't want to live like this. You didn't know it then, but that was heaven whispering. This is why you're here. You are the interruption. Every time you choose obedience where previous generations chose rebellion or numbness, you are not just making a better decision, you are cutting a new path through the forest. You are saying, the story goes a different way from me onward. When you forgive instead of passing bitterness down, when you break secrecy and bring things into the light, when you choose purity over the patterns of lust or infidelity that marked your bloodline, when you steward money with wisdom instead of repeating cycles of chaos, you are swinging a sword through old roots. Heaven takes this incredibly seriously. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. Do you see it? Your choice of life does not end with you, so that you and your children may live. Your yes becomes shade for those who come after you. Some of the battles you faced were never just about your own story. They were about future sons and daughters, biological or spiritual, who will walk on the ground you are fighting for now. There will be children who grow up in peace because you refuse to normalize chaos. There will be young people who think it's normal to see prayer, worship, integrity, and emotional health because you decided that dysfunction would not be their default. They may never know the full price you paid, the nights you cried, the temptations you walked away from, the apologies you made, the boundaries you enforced, but they will walk in the freedom purchased through those choices. And it is not just about literal descendants. There are people you will mentor, friends you will influence, lives you will touch, who will step into healing because you broke through first. You will be the first person in someone's world who doesn't repeat the same destructive script, the first who doesn't gossip, the first who doesn't enable, the first who tells the truth in love, the first who says, no, this can change. Your obedience becomes a doorway they never had before. Timelines also shift. The enemy planned delays for you, years wasted in confusion, cycles that kept you in the same place, relationships designed to drain your time and energy. When you begin to obey quickly instead of eventually, time snaps back into alignment. What would have taken 10 years in compromise can happen in 2 years of full surrender. What your family couldn't accomplish over decades, you can step into in a compressed, accelerated way, not because you are better, but because you are aligned. There are also prayers from previous generations hanging over your life. Not everyone before you got it right, but some of them cried out to God in their own limited understanding, Lord, protect my children, change my family, do something new in us. They may not have seen the answer in their lifetime, but you are that answer in motion. Their tears and your obedience are working together across time. Heaven doesn't lose track of either. This is why your choices in ordinary moments matter so much. When you decide not to repeat that toxic reaction, when you admit you were wrong instead of defending your pride, when you turn off what pollutes your spirit, when you show up consistently for healing instead of running from it, you are doing more than self-improvement. You are re-scripting a lineage. You are moving history. You may not feel powerful when you whisper, "Yes, God, I'll do it your way." But in the unseen realm, that whisper sounds like thunder. Old contracts break. Old timelines bend. New paths open. The future begins to look different because you chose differently. You are not just living your life. You are, by grace, co-writing the next chapters of many lives. Obedience is your pen. And, with every yes, heaven writes a new sentence over your bloodline. It changes here. You stand now in a different place than where you started. You may be in the same room physically, but in the spirit, something has shifted. You have walked through remembrance, through warning, through healing, through instruction. You have seen your battles from heaven's side. You have felt the weight of your yes and the cost of your no. And now, chosen one, heaven does something very specific. It seals you. It arms you. And it sends you. You are not being pushed into this next season naked and unguarded. God does not expose your calling only to leave you exposed to attack. Every revelation you have received in this journey has also been a piece of armor being fitted to you. Identity around your waist like a belt of truth. Righteousness guarding your chest where wounds used to sit open. The gospel turning your feet from wandering into purpose. Faith becoming a shield that catches what used to pierce you. Salvation wrapping your mind. Cutting off the voice that said you were too far gone. The word in your mouth turning from mere comfort into a weapon. You may still feel weak in some areas, but heaven is not looking at you through the lens of your feelings. Heaven sees you through the lens of what has been placed on you and in you. The ancient words recorded in Romans chapter 8, verse 37. No, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. Notice more than conquerors, not because you never feel afraid, but because love will not let fear have the final word. Not because you never face battles, but because none of those battles outrank the one who chose you. You are being sealed, marked in the Spirit as belonging to God. That seal is not visible to the natural eye, but it is unmistakable in the unseen realm. It says, "This one is mine. This one carries my assignment. This one walks under my covering." That seal does not mean you will never be attacked. It means every attack now has to go through a higher authority. What once could crush you will now be turned into training. What once confused you will now drive you deeper into wisdom. This sealing is also a settling. There is a quiet finality in your spirit. You are done negotiating your identity. You are done trying to earn what has already been spoken over you. You are done measuring your worth by who stays, who goes, who understands, or who doesn't. Royalty has been declared. Torchbearer has been named. Interrupter of bloodlines has been confirmed. You may still grow into these titles, but they are already written on you. Heaven is not waiting to see how you turn out before deciding who you are. Heaven knows exactly who you are and is patiently, powerfully leading you to see it too. From this place of sealing, the sending becomes possible. You are not sent as a project. You are sent as a carrier. You carry the comfort that met you in the valley of secret tears. You carry the clarity that exposed the enemy's strategies. You carry the holy fear that keeps you from casual disobedience. You carry the tenderness that came from wilderness nights. You carry the fire that refused to die, even when you tried to smother it. Wherever your feet step next, homes, offices, streets, nations, those places encounter what heaven has been building in you all along. There will still be days when you feel small. Heaven is not asking you to pretend otherwise. On those days, you will remember being chosen was never about you being naturally impressive. It was about God deciding to put His hand on someone who knows they need Him. That dependence will be your greatest strength. You are not expected to be invincible. You are invited to be available. So, as you move forward from this moment, you do not drift, you are sent. You do not guess, you are guided. You do not stumble in the dark, you walk carrying light. Your story will still unfold, chapter by chapter, with high points and valleys. But one thing has permanently changed. You now know who walks with you, what rests on you, and what you are here to do. Sealed by love, armored by truth, sent by heaven. That is who you are now, and who, in the heart of God, you have always been. Take a breath. Chosen one. You've just walked through a whole journey, your tears, your warfare, your identity, your calling, your bloodline, your future. None of this was entertainment for your mind. It was equipment for your spirit. Heaven does not waste words. And you do not waste time when you lean in like you just did. Right now, you stand at a quiet crossroads. You can close this and rush back into noise, or you can mark this moment as one of those turning points you look back on and say, something changed in me there. That choice is yours. But I believe you already feel in your spirit which one heaven is inviting you to make. If this message has confirmed what God was already whispering, if you felt seen, corrected, strengthened, or called up higher, don't let it fade into the scroll. Safely, gently. I invite you to respond like this so it doesn't get buried. Share it with one other person you know carries hidden weight. And subscribe so you stay connected to words that treat your calling seriously, not casually. And then, in the comments, pour a little of your heart. It doesn't have to be perfect or deep. Write the line that hit you most, the decision you're making, or even a simple, I receive this. That visible response becomes an altar stone in your timeline. A reminder that on this day, you didn't just listen, you agreed. You are not leaving this moment the way you entered it. Even if everything around you still looks the same, something in you is standing taller. Walk forward like someone who knows heaven has spoken because it has. And remember, chosen ones don't shrink. They rise again and again.